So yesterday I was playing with PowerShell and Azure, trying to figure out how to do what I did before with the templates, but using PowerShell commandlets. So this script here is based a lot on some of Microsoft's documentation, and I have links to that. But I've modified it and added a few other things. So we're just going to start off and run this. I'm going to minimize it because some of the output might be sensitive. So run the script. These credentials here will be for the VM that it's going to create. These will be the login for the VM. So there it goes. It should start. And over here in the resource group, so it's going to create a resource group and a whole bunch of other things. So I have another script where I kind of documented my thought process as I was trying to learn how to do this. So there's a Azure RM module. You can import that, but we don't need to. We're just gonna look at the PowerShell will auto import modules now, so we can just do git command module Azure RM, and if it's not already loaded, it will import the module and then it will show us the other stuff. So that is a lot of commands. I want to create a VM, so I'm going to look for stuff containing VMs, commandlets containing VM, and I want to create one. The verb in PowerShell for creating thing is usually for creating objects is new. So we'll look for new Azure RM VM. There's one right there. So let's see if we can use that. So I'm gonna, if you do this help Azure RM, you can see a lot of help items for Azure. But I'm gonna do get help new Azure RM VM. And I'm not getting very many details here, and I've noticed that sometimes with the help for these commandlets, sometimes I get the actual help and sometimes I do not, and I don't know why. It's a little frustrating. So let's see if after I run that, maybe I'll get everything. So let's try it again. Still nothing. But let's try. This is what it does look like. I ran it in PowerShell, not the ISE, and you can see it works. There's examples. The help's actually pretty good. But it doesn't always work. I don't know why. So we'll just minimize that. So when I was first playing with this, I didn't know it worked at all. I tried updating the help. That didn't work. I tried going to online version. That didn't work. So sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Try it from PowerShell instead of the ISE. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. But it is there, just not always. Microsoft does have good documentation online. So throughout these, you'll see links for that. Now, before I can create a VM, I need to create a resource. So I did git command module Azure RM * resource *. So we can see here I need to create one. So I use new, and I have a new Azure RM resource group. So if I do the get help for that, again, not good details, but we can look over here. Maybe we'll get get help new Azure RM resource group, and there is more help here, and I can see the detailed version and get examples. So that's good. So it is there. Now to use that, I saw that I need a name, a location, and I tried just those and it worked. So I can use my name, my location, and it ends up creating a resource group. Now you can check that with get Azure RM resource group. I won't do that because of the information it returns. But now I want to create a VM, new Azure RM VM, because I have a resource group that it can go in. But there's this other one that I'm not showing. There are other parameter -VM, and it requires a PS virtual machine object. I didn't know what that was, so I had to do some research to try to find out what that looks like. And that's where I ran across this script. So to create a VM, this PS virtual machine is made up of storage, networking, and that's probably about it. So here I create the storage for the VM. Here we're creating the networking for the VM. and then we create the VM itself. So here's the VM information, and this $virtual machine becomes the PS virtual machine object that I passed to new Azure RM VM. So here we have we also have to give it a credential for the user. I showed you that earlier. So that gets passed to the VM as well. So new Azure RM VM, and we get a virtual machine. So now we've created the virtual machine, and we can click over here and we can see if it's made the resources. And there we have some resources. Now, to be completely honest, it didn't work the first time. I had to clear it, stop my recording, start over, and then rerun it, and it worked. I don't know, it got hung up creating the disks for some reason, but they're created now, and then the script continued with the rest of the things. Now, one other part you'll notice in here that I didn't realize at first, but when you create a VM through the portal, it also automatically gives you a network security group, and that the script that I found didn't have that, so I went and figured out how to do that as well. And it is not it's not too hard, but I use the same type of method, get command, searching for security group, found some commandlets to work, and I also, of course, use some blog posts. But basically, right here, you can create a new network security group, and then you can add rules to it. So I knew I wanted a rule for PowerShell remoting and a rule for remote desktop. These VMs by default don't have PowerShell remoting turned on the way I enabled the way that it needs to be. So for now, I'm using remote desktop to configure that, but I'll figure that out as well. So I don't want to have to log into a GUI. So I added the network security group, those two rules, and all of that gets applied to the interface that we need. And then you have a firewall as well on your VM. So all of this, after all of this is created, you can connect to it through remote desktop. I use this command down here. MSTSC is what you use for the command for remote desktop, and then I get the IP address using commands, and then I just have to give it my credentials and I have a VM. So that's basically what I did. It was kind of fun to play with and learn. If you want to take this, make it better, let me know. I appreciate it. If I missed anything that I should have done, let me know. I'm pretty new to Azure, but I'm having fun with PowerShell and Azure. So thank you very much.